If your LinkedIn posts are getting fewer views than they were 12 months ago, it's because LinkedIn replaced its entire algorithm with a new AI algorithm called 360 Brew. The advice that everyone's been telling you to post consistently or use hashtags, engage on other people's posts, and reply to comments in the first hour either no longer works or it actively gets you penalized now. Building micro niche authority is the new way to win on LinkedIn, and today I'm going to show you how. Because I've been running LinkedIn and other social media channels for 7, 8, and 9-figure brands for years, built my own LinkedIn to more than 50,000 followers, and this manual is built directly from LinkedIn's own published engineering research, cross-referenced with 3 independent practitioner studies. And by the end of this video, you will have a 90-day plan to win on LinkedIn's new algorithm, and you will understand how every detail of how it works, from what gets you penalized, how to set your profile up so that the algorithm routes your content to the right people. You'll know what to post when, how to turn profile views and comments into book calls. So let's start with the things you must stop doing right now. Because the way the old algorithm used to work is if you made a post about, let's say, sales, it would get shown to your followers who are interested in sales. So everyone interested in that topic would get the same post. Whereas now, when you post about that same topic, it scores the person and it asks, is this the right post for this person right now? And then it predicts the relevance based on its AI algorithm, meaning each person gets a different decision and the hyper niche wins. So if right now you are in engagement groups, you're commenting on other people's posts, you're engaging before and after you post, you're writing content that looks really easy to skim and it's nice to read, while that stuff used to work, is not the right thing to do right now, because there are 3 phases to LinkedIn's new algorithm. So first, within the first few minutes, 360 Brew is going to assess substance, formatting, your author credibility, and it's gonna also decide, are there penalty triggers inside of that post. So the credibility is your follower count, your past engagement rate, not just this one individual post, because that decides if you're actually a good creator. And it also looks at the consistency of topics, meaning it's important to stay consistent with the same topics again and again. Second, it looks at the first 30 to 60 minutes of engagement, and it's looking for a 2 to 5% of your network engagement rate. Now, importantly, the algorithm now focuses on dwell time, and what dwell time is how long is somebody spending reading your individual post. So that's why later on you'll see there's one specific type of content that works really well right now that I'll share with you that you probably haven't been posting, and it's not video. And then finally, it looks at depth score, which is 24 to 72 hours later. It looks at how much engagement you got, how interested were people. This is the primary distribution signal. So while engagement instantly used to be really important and people would share their posts into engagement groups, which is something that I was never really a fan of anyway, that is not an effective strategy now. We're looking for saves and we're looking for shares. Again, I'll talk more about the main signals for engagement in a little bit. So if we look at what's actually changed, okay, this is crazy. It's been backed up by other studies by different platforms, and we can see that overall organic reach is down 47 to 63%. Now, you may have seen some of these like personal brand creators popping up. I'm going to show you at the end of this video why that content isn't as good as you might think, okay? After that, you can see the engagement is actually up. So this is very interesting because you can see that if we stay hyper niched, micro niche focused, we're actually able to get more engagement. Video impressions are up. However, I also do still think that they are not the primary way to get growth on LinkedIn. The initial distribution to connections is also kind of, it's very interesting, because now what's important is that your authority in your niche is more important than anything else. Then it's not as important as your network size. So just connecting with people to build your network isn't important anymore. Company page reach is just bombing, so it's better to focus on the personal brand. I mean, it's down significantly. Instead, what is rewarding is dwell time of more than 60 seconds. So the way that I like to think about this is, how do you feel when you doom scroll? Just think about that. When you find yourself on your phone and you just randomly start scrolling and binge watching these random videos, okay? Now, I know you may be someone that's like, I don't do that, but I'm sure you've done it in the past, or you've seen people doing it on the train or whatnot, right? You feel like you just wasted a load of time. Whereas, how do you feel when you've read something? You've read something interesting, maybe an article, newsletter, maybe a carousel post, right? You walk away feeling like you learned something. And the analogy I always like to use is, well, which customer would you rather have? Somebody that just felt like they wasted time consuming your content, or someone who feels like they just got educated from your post? you can see here now why I'm confident that written content that's long, that's educational, that's informative, it's going to do better for you. But obviously, copywriting formats need to be followed in order for this to actually work. So dwell time of 60 seconds, getting someone to stay on there for more than 60 seconds, really important. Saves, also highly rewarded. Think about it. If someone reads an article and they want to refer back to it, they're most likely going to save it, especially now with AI, because you can just copy and paste text into AIs, meaning that the AI learns faster, whereas a video, it's a bit more of a pain in the ass. You've got to get the transcript again. So I'm really focused here on how can we also use LinkedIn to increase AEO, which is essentially like SEO, but AI engine optimization, right? So that we can appear at the top of search. So we've got saves, we've got private DM shares, okay, very similar to saves. Also, if someone's read something, put their mind on it for a while, they're more likely to save, they're more likely to share. Can you see the theme here? I want to hear from you. Ask me any questions you've got as well. I will answer them as much as I can. And then from there, we've got like experience-based comments, because you'll see again with the example that I'm going to show you at the end, there's a bunch of like AI slop comments going about that's getting penalized. Instead, if you get experience-based comments from people that have been there, done that, lived it, that's going to also be what does better. Simultaneously, we then look at, staying consistent with the actual topic that you've got. And then from there, likes, external links in the post body is penalized. Okay, likes are just basic. Liking, putting a heart, that's basic. I've been seeing posts lately with thousands of likes and just a few comments, and just, it's pretty bad content, and that person's profile, I can just tell from looking at it, they're obviously not getting a lot of leads from their LinkedIn. From there, if you put links in your post body, you're getting penalized. If you tell people to comment a keyword, that's also getting penalized. And also, if you're just using generic AI templated patterns, that is extremely penalized and deprioritized, which is why at Scale Systems, whenever we're creating content for our clients, for our agency, for those who go through our accelerators, right, we're never getting them to just follow basic AI crap, right? It's why we build the UAI, which is an AI trained on yourself, your offer. There are unqualified words. It has instructions. It has authenticity. That is UAI. We have to start there. And then obviously we've made tens of thousands of posts on social media for ourselves and our clients, hundreds of thousands over the years. And then we've been able to create frameworks out of those posts. And that's what works well on social media, because it follows what we used to type manually. And now we just built it into a structure that AI can pull from the UAI of per client and put it out on social media, okay? So really, you need to be focusing. If you just want the TLDR, the too long didn't read of this, you need dwell time, you need saves, and you need people sharing it in their DMs. That is fundamental, okay? So if we look at the formats, carousels are getting really high engagement rate. Native documents are getting really high engagement rate. Native video is also getting really high engagement rate. Polls are getting insane engagement. Text and single image are doing all right, and external links are penalized. Now, if we look at conversion rates, look, native documents, videos, and carousels are by far doing the best. Again, video, I would only like to do video if we've already proven it on a document and a carousel already, because it's a lot more effort, and the difference in engagement and lead conversion isn't significant at all, okay? Now, if we look at what kills reach, okay, the kill list, we're putting links in our body, links in the comment, engagement pods, comment yes if you agree, AI generated comments, tagging random accounts, randomly posting different topics, doing these random personal stories that just have nothing totally related to what you do. Doing this mindset content or this random leadership content or whatever if it doesn't directly relate to what you do, and also using third-party automation for posting. Hashtags, okay, 2 to 3 are specific, it's okay, has to be niche specific, don't ever use more, don't use them on Pulse. I'll just stay very brief on the major thing here, right, is that you must not always be using the same structure on every single post. It looks like AI has done it. If you are lacking personal insights, it just, again, looks like AI has done it. You can see this algorithm, right, is really trying to detect AI patterns, and it wants to ensure that it's not getting full of AI content on LinkedIn, because it did get a little bit out of hand, which is why it's also looking for timing patterns, which suggest various different automations. It's okay to use AI in your workflow, but this is now the line in the sand where we have to go from using basic consumer-facing AI, like just opening ChatGPT or Gemini and typing to it, or Claude, right, to now having our UAI set up, which is a series of files which are trained on yourself, your offer. There's unqualified words, right? You want to have the authenticity and the instructions. We must have that all set up properly. I realized I said that in the wrong order earlier. Whoops. We must have that set up properly, because otherwise we're going to sound like everybody else and we're going to get deprioritized, okay? So we don't want to self-share our posts. We don't want to move away from our main topics. We need to stay on our primary topic. Look, once a profile has been indexed on a primary topic for more than 12 months, secondary pillars can be added without resetting the main topic graph, provided that the primary topic still gets the majority of posts. So established accounts can carry 4 to 5 pillars, where new accounts should hold 2 or 3. So now we're there. How can we actually get rewarded by the LinkedIn algorithm? Now you understand the new state of what's going on. Well, how to get rewarded by the LinkedIn algorithm is as follows. I want to break down step by step what to do so your content gets micro niche authority, which is the only kind of visibility that now matters on LinkedIn. Why? Well, because it's rewarding if you stay consistent to your niche, if you can stay consistent to your topic. It's much better now because of how the algorithm is rewarding you to have a smaller audience of people interested in that micro niche topic, and they see you as a micro niche authority there, than to have a massive audience, okay? And having been on the back end of creators that have hundreds of thousands of followers on LinkedIn and other platforms, right? But we're talking LinkedIn here. I've seen when they try to do launches, they don't go as you may think. Okay, I've seen people who on LinkedIn claim to have a 7 or 8 figure business. They're making 6 figures, right? I'm just telling you because obviously they come to me for help with conversion, right? Conversion, a large avatar of people that we serve are people that have a big audience who need help converting. It's a massive audience. Why? Because having a big audience doesn't directly lead to conversion. I know if you don't have a big audience, you might think it, but I'm seeing the back end of these accounts. And I'm telling you right now, I have many clients with less than 20,000 followers making significantly more with those than more than 300,000 followers. Just let that settle in for a minute. We have to start with the profile. We have to actually sort the profile before posting, because 360 Brew, which is the name of the new algorithm, it evaluates the profile before it decides how broadly to distribute a post, because the weak profile is going to cap you. Now, the headline needs to lead with the result that the client gets and not your job title. So before, people used to say like CEO, founder, speaker, helping people, whatever. Now we want to go with the outcome first. We want to name the ICP. ICP means ideal client profile. And then we want to just have a specific outcome. If we go outcome first, it's, helping specific ICP achieve specific outcome using named method. As a simple one, there's a few here. You can just pause this and decide which one that you want. We want to go really specific here, and we don't want to have a generic headline anymore. Again, everything always comes back down to who we serve, what outcome we take them to. That's fundamental, because it's going to read your headline to decide whether your profile is matching the topic that you're talking about. Banner is a billboard. You want to have 3 elements maximum with your value proposition, some social proof, and 1 CTA. I like pushing the CTA towards my LinkedIn native newsletter, which I'll talk about in a little bit, okay? Simultaneously, our about section, we used to have like a big wall of text. Now we want to have just like 3 really short paragraphs with our mission, our proof, and our call to action. And then we want to order our featured section by buyer intent. So we have our lead magnet or free resource, then our best performing post, then a client case study, then a service or booking link. After that, we have to then change our services section, because now, because of this micro niche authority, we're going to find that people who are actually interested in your topic and want to go to your profile, they want to work. That's how LinkedIn works. People are there to do business, right? They want to work. So this is business media, not social media. Have your services section in there. With your custom strategy, again, I really prefer this, where we push it directly to either a lead magnet or your LinkedIn newsletter. And then from there, LinkedIn did retire creator mode. If you go to settings, then visibility, then followers, you can set followers the primary CTA. And I would definitely enable newsletter directly from your profile page. You can also apply for the LinkedIn Live, there's an application form for that. Doing this is free, and then it means that instead of people connecting with you, they follow you instead, and that also will increase your authority. So you can see a converted profile here. Just go to my profile on LinkedIn. I'm optimizing mine frequently to make sure that it's optimized based on best practices. So if you want to just check mine once a month or so, you can see the best practices as of right now. So this is the good stuff. This is about what to post. This is the most important part of this entire video. Okay, we need to be posting with 2 to 3 core pillars, not 5. Topic consistently is what is going to train 360 Brew to route content to interest match non-followers, so we can build that micro niche authority. Micro niche authority is better than building a huge audience right now. I'm telling you, this is going to make the world of a difference. The topic consistency will train the algorithm to bring you people who need you. It's simple. So I'm going to give you 5 pillars, like types of pillars. You can pick 2 or 3. So previously, you'll know that people posted anything that they found interesting: strategy, mindset, travel, business, culture. Proposed to my wife and, here's what I learned about B2B sales, right? That could actually be fine if your niche is B2B sales, but I saw people doing random content like that and it wasn't to do with their niche. So now we want to go with 2 to 3 tight topical pillars. You stick with them for 90 plus days so that 360 Brew can learn your niche and bring content to the people that need it. Now I'm telling you, copying what people are doing may have used to have worked for you. Like LinkedIn was, let's just say it for how it is, kind of like a big circle jerk. Now it is not like that anymore. Now we must build micro niche authority, because that's going to be the thing which allows us to be successful. So there's 5 types of content. There's education, where you do and where you break down your named method, where you do a how-to, a tear down of something. This is save-worthy content. This is going to get people to dwell on the post, right? Remember, we looked at what was working and what wasn't. If someone stays on the post for more than 60 seconds, that is baked into LinkedIn's algorithm. That kind of content is going to do better, all right? The next type is story-based content, first-person narrative, where you're going to confess something. It's a turning point, a hard lesson. It's going to get a lot of comments. Now remember, this has to be related to your micro niche topic. Has to be. You don't want to just make a random piece of content about something random. No, if you are all about business finance, you don't want to be making a random post here about leadership. No, that used to work. Yes, now it doesn't. The algorithm changed. You have to learn and relearn, because that's not going to work anymore. Next, we have contrarian. Okay, this is where you take a counter-conventional position and you're going to back it up by your own experience. So I'll give you an example. I have a client who she's like teaching kids how to do chemistry, right? And so she has this online program teaching that for their exams, teenagers, right? And basically she made a contrarian take about basically how not to learn this topic, and it got picked up by the BBC, LBC, which are massive radio shows in the UK, okay, and TV shows. So she's backing it up by her 20 plus years being a chemistry teacher, getting hundreds and thousands of kids to pass their big exams that they have in the UK. After that, we've got case studies. Okay, this is going to be where we drive lead magnet conversion. So that's going to be more middle of the funnel content. And then we've got platform news and industry insights. So this is also going to be how you can be seen as a thought leader in that topic. Again, driving shares and saves. Now, the example that I like the most is 40% education, 25% story, 15% contrarian, 15% case study, 5% news. With these different 5 types, you want to pick like 2 or 3 core topics. So for example, if you're like a finance expert, right, one of them can be about like how to hire a CFO, one can be how to read your balance sheet, one can be why you need to know your numbers. That would just be a basic example there. Okay, and then you would split it across these different styles of content. So we need to make sure that you're just picking 2 or 3 content pillars, and then you fit them within these 5 archetypes. Okay, from there, what I mainly want to go through, okay, well, how long should the post be? Well, we want to ensure that a text post is as long as it needs to be in order to get the message across. Oh, and by the way, if you want me to send this to you faster, message me on LinkedIn saying document and just connect with me there and put document in the little ad thing, or just message me directly. That'll be easier because this is about LinkedIn. Just realized that'll be a better way for you to get this faster. It needs to be as long as it needs to be, right? Previously, short, bite-sized content worked better. Now, no, it's not like that anymore. Don't copy what these big LinkedIn gurus are talking about all the time, just because like they're building an audience about LinkedIn. So what they post is naturally going to do better. In your micro niche, you're going to have to use different formats. Simultaneously, how often you post depends on the follower stage. So if you've got less than 10K followers, you want to go 5 times a week. If you're growing, 4 to 5 times a week. If you're established, 3 to 5 times a week. Like I've got more than 50K on LinkedIn. I'm pretty much posting 3 or 4 times a week right now. I'm leaning on my existing audience, and the goal for me is to get more dwell time, to do longer content, right? So again, this is why you shouldn't copy what other people are doing. You should do what's right for you. That's why whenever we work with a client one-on-one, we always build them a custom strategy and we update that strategy on an ongoing basis, because things change, right? Things are always changing. So what I really want us to talk about now, okay? So this document is like 100 pages. So if I go through the whole thing, we are literally going to be here all day. But I want to talk about the 90-day execution plan. So there are 4 phases. Day 1 to 7 will build the foundation. Day 8 to 30, we'll get into the momentum of things. And then 31 to 60, 60 to 90, right? It's going to really start reaping the rewards from that. Now, If you're new and feeling overwhelmed, this is also a really good place to start. So week 1, we do our profile work. So we want to make sure that we rewrite the headline, we replace our banner, we update the profile photo, we rewrite the about section, we order the features section, we configure the services button, set the custom button to a booking link or to our DMs or to our LinkedIn newsletter. We set the follow as the primary CTA, we set up the newsletter, we identify 2 to 3 core content pillars and build a list of 20 to 30 accounts that the ideal client profile follows and enable post notifications. So here are some examples on my screen. You can see that many of these comments have hundreds or even more than 1,000 impressions. And these are just basic comments that I have put on other people's posts. Now, what I do is I found 20 to 30 accounts that I think my ideal client profile is going to be following. And I actually used AI to figure out who those accounts were. And then from there, every day I have turned the post notifications on. So when that person posts, it pops up in my notifications tab. And if I see that they've posted within the last 20 minutes, I'll head over to their post and I'll put a comment on their post. And by doing that, then I get increased visibility, but I can also see which comments generate a lot of interest, a lot of replies, a lot of likes. I can then take that as a content idea for my feed, and then I can make a post about it. And this is a really amazing way to increase reach right now with this new LinkedIn algorithm update. And this algorithm rewards your own insight added to the post, your own personal experience. Don't just acknowledge what the post says, but add to it, share more value. But plus, that then increases your authority on the platform, and you build an audience of people who would also be interested in your stuff because you only comment on people's posts who share the same ideal client profile as you. Well, there's a lot to go into this, okay? This should take you a few days. After that, you want to stick to a regular posting cadence, regular posting topics, the style of content I discussed earlier, and make sure that you're consistent with it. That is fundamental. You can stick to what it says here. After that, then you can continue what you're doing and then perhaps add a vertical video once a week for the videos tab, because they've added like a TikTok style videos tab. You can do a long form article, right? You can then document a client case study. I wouldn't do this all right away though, right? You can sprinkle in a LinkedIn live later down the line. And then finally, after that, the 3rd month, you can analyze the results. You can figure out the DM conversation flow that actually booked calls. Again, if you're a client of ours, right, we give that to you. You can try doing voice note DMs. And you can also optimize your sales call booking process because you'll have had more data to see where the drop off fits. Is it that you're just not getting enough reach? Is it that you're getting leads in the DMs but they're just not converting, right? And then you can look at all your data and then re-inform the front end to see out of the 2 or 3 topics that I was posting, which one was doing better, which one was doing worse, kill the one that wasn't doing well, replace it with a different one, and just keep doing that as an iterative cycle. The main thing here is that you're taking the data, you are analyzing the data, and you're figuring out if this is actually working. So let's look at the metrics that we want. So for example, if you're getting between 200 to 500 or obviously more profile views, that's healthy. If it's less, then you're just not driving traffic from your content. The way to fix that would be going back how to comment on other people's posts in a way that's going to actually get you followers. Again, you don't have to do that strategy forever, but it's a good way to kickstart things. And again, we don't want to use an engagement group because it's random other people in there. Simultaneously, we want to look at getting 5 to 15 DM conversations started. Again, this is per week. From there, we want to get 500 to 2,000 search appearances, 50 to 200 newsletter subscribers, and 10 to 30 post saves per post, okay? Now, if we're getting less than this, then it's just showing us that there's a bottleneck that we need to fix. Very important. But in order to do that, if our numbers are looking really good, we also have to look in a bit more of a subjective way as well. So we can see here, I had a LinkedIn post yesterday that got 32 comments and one from 5 days ago, which got 5. Now, it's very interesting because as we actually look at these 2 posts, we think that the one on the left is obviously the one that did better because it got more comments. The one on the right is obviously the one that did worse because it got fewer comments, right? Well, it's very interesting the way that the algorithm works right now. So let me show you something here on the back end. And I made this post on purpose ahead of recording this video, and I'm honestly going to delete it because it really isn't micro niche. It's not building me micro niche authority because essentially it's talking about building a business through social media, and I would say this content is more designed for beginners. Now, if we actually look at all the comments here, right, it's just kind of like AI slop. It's people who are obviously just commenting on my post because they know that this post is going to get a lot of reach, so they want to get more views. And typically, these are people who are not necessarily in a country that I do typically serve, because my main clientele tends to be in Europe and in the United States and the United Kingdom. And so I just thought it was very, very interesting seeing the difference. Because the other post, if we look at the analytics here, it was just significantly higher quality founders, salespeople, executive directors, business strategists, and business owners, which is obviously who I'm looking for. So it's pretty interesting as you're looking at other people's accounts, seeing all their comments, thinking, wow, this must be a really good account to follow and learn from and model. Don't mistake just basic engagement like that for actual results, because I've noticed that when we're posting this micro niche authority content, 3, 4, 5 days later is when the DMs start coming in, when people start saying, oh, I saw that post about this topic, it was really interesting, can you help me with that? Or they ask a question, something like that. Whereas with that basic kind of personal style content that's super broad, it's not niche at all, it's not really doing anything for your business. Now, it can feel nice because it gets engagement, but in the end, that engagement isn't going to become a client. And, you know, I'm sure there are other things that you can do to feel nice, like, I don't know, play some sports or something, right? So that's my approach. And again, if you want this document, message me on LinkedIn saying the word document. I will send this over to you, and connect with me over there. There's a lot of information that if you follow this, you will get your LinkedIn cranking, okay? So thanks so much for watching this. I know this was a deep dive, and grateful to serve you. All right, see you on the next one.